What's good with it, BlakGooseTV family? As always, your boy Fluent is back in the building. I'm finna give you the news that y'all been waiting for. But before we get into all that, man, make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button below. As always, man, I'm just asking for a little help to get into the algorithm side of the game. If you're watching this, you're not part of the family, which wouldn't make any sense. I don't understand why you're watching this, you're not part of the family, man. That's just crazy because I'm like, when you're part of the family, you feel the type of love that you never thought you ever felt. Anyways, if you're watching this, you're not part of the family, man, hit the subscribe button. While you hitting the like button, hit the notification gang. And while you hitting the notification gang, you just so happen to hear something that you just not fucking with, man, go ahead and drop it in the comments below, man. I am never against somebody who got a different opinion than me. Actually, I prefer it. That makes everything much more interesting in this life, because why would you live this life and want to just hear the same shit and have everybody agree with you, man? What makes this shit exciting is hearing different perspectives and learning, etc., etc. Now that we got all that out the way, let's go ahead and get into this particular topic that we're going to be talking about, man. We're talking about Eddie Hearn because Eddie Hearn be saying some controversial shit, right? Eddie Hearn, man, people got a lot of beef with Eddie Hearn, man. He's really changed the game in the last 5 years when it comes to boxing. You heard little Ella be saying he would give that motherfucker smoke. I don't know how much that is true. I don't know how much he really means that. I don't know if he really just got a disdain for him, but I know Oscar don't like him. Anyway, we don't got to get into that. That's not what this is about. We going to get into the fact that Eddie Hearn said this, right? He said some very, very interesting choice words. And I'll say this as well. I love what Eddie Hearn is doing, man. Why do I love what Eddie Hearn is doing? Is because essentially before the Canelo Bivol fight, Eddie Hearn was Team Canelo to the day he died. He spoke about Bivol to an extent, but honestly, he would talk about Buatsi a lot more because obviously Eddie Hearn promoted Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua has Buatsi signed to his promotion, so we saw that a lot. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really see the love and admiration from Eddie Hearn from Bivol until now. Now we saw it to a glimpse to extent, but now, and my guess, I haven't looked into this, so I might be speculating, I might be spreading a rumor, but my guess is in order for Bivol to get that Canelo fight, he maybe had to have signed a co-promotional deal with Matchroom and Eddie Hearn, most likely, right? So it's very interesting to see Eddie Hearn absolutely just praising Bivol the way he does, man. I see him beating the Beterbiev. I see him beating Yard, and no one could touch him. Like, he's an absolute So he's just gushing about him. Or maybe he's doing that also to raise the stock of his own fighter, Canelo, that he still has a 2-fight deal with, to make it seem as if, he fought against one of the best. And he did. I absolutely respect Bivol. I knew Bivol was great before this fight. But either way, I want to ask you guys this, BlakGooseTV family. Do you agree with this statement right here? He said, I would say Bivol is a big favorite against Beterbiev. In other words, he believes that Bivol would beat Beterbiev not only easily, but also convincingly and in a beautiful fashion. Do you guys believe that? Do you think if they actually fought, Beterbiev would be a very, very, very big underdog against Bivol? And would you expect Bivol to win? Now, answer that first. Drop it in the comments. Now, let's find out specifically what Eddie Hearn had to say. Let's go ahead and get into this. He said, after that performance, I would say Bivol is a big favorite against Beterbiev. To be honest with you, it's a great fight. We'll see how Beterbiev gets on with Joe Smith, but that performance Bivol against Alvarez was incredible. Interesting. So based off the Alvarez fight, he's saying he's a favorite against Beterbiev. Interesting. I got him the opportunity that I always promised I would give him. As much as I was disappointed for Saul, I was delighted for Dmitry because he's a fine young man. He deserves his shot at greatness. So that was the few choice words Eddie Hearn had to say. He didn't say he would knock him out. He didn't say he would put hands on him. He said he wanted to just outwork him, outbox him. But he said because Bivol beat Canelo, he would be a huge favorite over Beterbiev. So I may have to retract some of the things I said, but I think that's a very logical and a very logical and a very sense-based perspective from Eddie Hearn, because he's basically saying it's all about the fact that we know who Canelo is more so than we know who Beterbiev is. So if more people know who Canelo is, we saw Bivol beat Canelo. Now we see Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev. A lot of the casuals who put the money down, a lot of the people who only pay attention to the big fights, they are going to put it down on Bivol simply because he beat Canelo. Oh, if he beat Canelo, he can beat Beterbiev. So he didn't say anything specifically about who's better or, going into, the details when it comes to stylistic approaches. He just went off of, the eye test from a casual fan. And I agree with Eddie Hearn when it comes to that. But as always, fuck my opinion. I really don't care about my opinion. I'm not making these videos to hear my opinion. I'm making these videos to hear y'all opinion. So do you guys agree with Eddie Hearn said? Do you think Eddie Hearn is talking factual shit? You think he's really talking sensible shit? Or do you think he's just on the cusp of some bullshit and he's just making some shit out of nowhere because he knows that he's going to be promoting Bivol against Beterbiev if that fight ever ends up happening? Let me know y'all opinion below. Drop it in the comments. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not part of the family. And on the all switch nigga side of the game.